Everyone, hope you all are doing well. I think so the last few years have been very difficult time for investors and for advisors. We've seen volatility across all asset classes, be it equities, fixed income, gold or real estate. As an investor, when you make an investment, what is the overall thought process that you would like to do? When you make an investment, your idea is that the investment should give you safety, should provide you ample liquidity, should provide you with decent returns, and if they are risk adjusted returns, it is better, and also tax efficient returns. So these are few of the things that I'm sure all investors look at while making investments. Today we have a very interesting topic to discuss with all of you. It relates to banking and PSU debt funds. I have few slides which will help you explain what are the features and the advantages of banking and PSU debt funds. So let me start with what are banking and PSU debt funds. So as per SEBI regulations, and as visible in the slide that will be in front of you, you will see banking and PSU debt funds have to invest at least 80% of their portfolio in banks, public sector undertakings or PSUs, and public financial institutions or PFIs. The regulations allow you flexibility of investing 0 to 20% in other instruments, which could be government securities or state government securities, or investing in CDs, CPs, or even in TREPs. Now, as you can see, what we have in front of you in the slide are few of the regular issuers who are there on the debt market side in the case of banks, PSUs, and PFIs. Now, what are the advantages a banking and PSU debt fund brings? Banking and PSU, let me start with the first advantage, is that it provides relative stability. Now, why would we say that? Is when you see the overall regulation, it allows you to invest in banks which are very well regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, public sector undertakings which have sovereign backing them, guarantees supporting them. So in that sense, these are very good institutions and bring a fair amount of stability to the portfolio, and the credit ratings of these instruments are usually high. So what you will see in this slide is the credit rating of these funds. And you can clearly see that the credit rating of the banking and PSU debt fund is higher compared to most other category of debt funds. Now this brings me to the second advantage that I would like to talk about is liquidity, because you would like to know when you can redeem your money and how frequently or how easily you can redeem your money. And so here, mutual funds are a good investment option which provide you liquidity on the day you, in a couple of days after you put your redemption request. Now on the portfolio liquidity point of view, if you see again, I have a slide to showcase which is in front of you. This slide will show that the banking and PSU debt funds are the highest portfolio liquidity when compared to other debt mutual funds. And this portfolio liquidity is very, very important because it helps you pay back money to investors whenever the investors would like to receive the money. So again, this is a second advantage of banking and PSU debt fund. This brings me to the third is, how has banking and PSU debt funds done basis returns as well as risk adjusted returns? So I want to showcase two more slides to you to showcase the advantage or the performance of banking and PSU debt fund. What you can see is the banking and PSU debt funds have been able to provide stable returns for 1 year, 3 year, 5 years or 7 years compared to other categories. And this category has done well, in spite of all the volatility that we've seen in debt markets. So the point that we want to highlight is investors should definitely not look at past returns to extrapolate what will be the returns in future, but they should only look at past returns to use it as a barometer to see what might happen in case of future, and can this category give you relatively less volatility. So this is what we want to highlight by this performance slide. And I think so the next slide, which is now in front of you, actually showcases to you what is the volatility and risk adjusted returns of this category. As you can clearly see, the volatility of banking and PSU debt funds is lower, and they are able to give you a better Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio is basically risk adjusted ratio. So again, clearly an advantage investors have when they look at this category for making investments. And this brings me to the last point of discussion, which is the tax advantage. So essentially, this is an advantage that all debt mutual fund schemes provide in general compared to traditional fixed income instruments. So when you increase your time horizon to more than 3 years, this debt mutual funds get the advantage of indexation. And as is visible in this slide, you would see that because of the indexation benefit that debt mutual funds have, this category is able to give you better risk adjusted performance and better tax efficient returns as well. So what we've covered in the past few minutes are the advantages of banking and PSU debt fund. Now I'm very pleased and happy to tell you we at Team Mirai is launching a Mirai Asset Banking and PSU debt fund. I want to highlight what we will be doing in this product and what would be our investment strategy and thought process. So let me share with you what will be the investment framework for our fund that we are proposing to launch. First is the fund provides relative stability or safety, sorry. Now, why would we say that? Because the fund will have higher allocation to AAA rated instruments. Our endeavor will be to invest in AAA rated instruments more. And why AAA rated instruments provide better safety is that in the past we've seen that when you invest in highly rated securities, the risk of downgrades are lower, and relatively these securities and instruments are able to provide a more more better experience for investors. So that would be our endeavor, to invest mainly in highly rated or AAA rated instruments. Now the second, which I had mentioned as an advantage of the banking and PSU category, which is liquidity. I think so the same feature is what we would also be taking advantage of, is try to provide higher liquidity, because when we invest in banking and PSU papers, these are papers which are fairly more liquid compared to other debt instruments which are traded in the market. Also, to improve the liquidity of our portfolio, we will be investing in government securities, and government securities are one of the most liquid papers on the debt side, and this helps us improve the overall liquidity of the portfolio. The third aspect is the duration. So what we will try and endeavor to do will be typically invest with a duration of between 2 to 5 years. And this is a broad range of 2 to 5 years. So in case we are very positive that the RBI rate cycle seems that the rate cuts will happen, then we may increase the duration to 5 years. But if our assessment is that the RBI may start increasing rates, or there are no more rate cuts happening, then we will reduce our duration to somewhere around 2 years. So this is a ballpark range that we have to run a duration of the product somewhere between 2 to 5 years. And the way that we will be trying to do this is by using government securities which are fairly liquid and have longer duration. So by changing our allocations to government securities, we will be able to change the duration of the portfolio. And last, the style. So as I had mentioned to you, what we will try and endeavor to do is provide active management style rather than buying securities and just holding them. Based on our assessments on interest rates, on the credit spreads. Credit spreads means difference in the valuations at which banks or public sectors are trading compared to the government bonds. We will be trying to take advantage of the spreads. So these are strategies of active management that we'll be trying to take in this portfolio. So this will be the investment framework of the portfolio. Now, what would be the investment universe? So the universe, like we mentioned, which has to be for the category is at least invest 80% of the money in banks, public sector undertakings, and public financial institutions. So that will of course be there. Now for the remaining 20%, or what we would do, and that is up to maximum 20%, we might be looking at investing in government securities. And I have a slide again to tell you the overall investment framework of what we will be looking at. So the allocation will be predominantly to government securities. We would avoid investing in private sector corporate bonds. Again, based on our assessment of market conditions currently, we would be avoiding to invest in perpetual bonds at the moment. And you can definitely read our offer document and go on our website to see if there is any change in our stance or strategy, and we will definitely want to communicate that to you. Again, we would prefer that we make investment in government bonds rather than state government bonds, because the government bonds have a better credit rating, they have a better liquidity. So we would prefer to invest in these government bonds more than we would invest in state government bonds. So these are few parts that we would like to do, and that will form a part of our investment universe. So just to share the key snapshot for this fund in front of all of you, this one last slide in front of you all again. This says that our NFO is starting on the 8th, as I mentioned to you, starting on the 8th until the 20th of July. The fund manager for this fund is Mr. Mahendra Jaju, who manages various fixed income strategies for Mirae Asset, to checking what would be the performance generated by him across all the debt strategies. I would request you to go to our website and our fact sheets to check the performance that we've been able to deliver. The exit load in this fund will be nil, and definitely you can invest in the dividend plan or the growth plan, and that flexibility is in front of you. So I would request all of you to go to our website. Please read through the offer document, the SID, the KIM of this fund. Go through the one pager also of these products, which will give you a more informed decision on our product. And we would request you, whenever you make an investment, take an investment time horizon of at least 1 to 2 years. Taking a longer investment time horizon brings volatility down for investors and can endeavor to provide better investment experience for investors. So all these factors we believe need to be looked at by investors when we look at this product. For advisors, we've always have your support in our NFOs in the past, and we would request you to look at our fund also, this fund as well, and hope that both investors and advisors invest well, take a good long-term view on markets, and can provide long-term options for making decent returns for investors. So thank you everyone for your patient hearing. We would like to take your feedback, your questions. So please post your feedback and your questions to us, and we'll be very happy to respond to them.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.